tough things are gonna come. You know that. Life is gonna hit you right in the mouth. So being worried about it, being nervous or scared about it doesn't help the situation. What does help the situation is being empowered and hitting it right back in the mouth. You know what I'm saying?
Shedrick Pelt is a fighter. Time and time again, he fought his way back up from rock bottom circumstances and is currently fighting to manifest what he believes his life should consist of. From sharing his time with the up and coming to documenting the lives of the OGs in the hip hop game, he knows what he wants and he attacks it with everything he's got. While his medium of choice is photography, he's transcending photojournalism and is spreading positivity in any way he can. And by the way, these photos are fire. Check it out.
All right.
Cedric, man.
Cool. Welcome, man.
Doing?
Thank you.
Good to have you, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me, bro.
I mean, well, we met a couple weeks ago at DuPont Underground, and we kind of hit it off, and now you're here, man. So glad to have you. Glad to be able to share your story, share DuPont Underground story, and just hear you talk.
All right. I mean, that's easy. I know who I am, so that shouldn't be a problem. I mean, my name is Shedrick Pelt. I'm a creative, a content creator, photographer, photojournalist, a graphic designer. I wear a lot of hats, but if I had to gather it all up, I would definitely just say a creative person. Photography is my passion right now.
Okay.
And photography is something that allows me to financially support myself, as well as create and support my artistic visions in a way that I can own them fully. You know, like I'm here as a full-time freelancer.
Right.
I make my own hours. I make my own opportunities. I'm here doing my own thing. You know. You know, I've always been somebody that just like I was always been a go-getter. So the field that I fell into was restaurants. Nightlife, bartending, that kind of thing.
Right.
And I fell into that just as an opportunity to make some bread. I just moved away from my home in Alabama. I just moved to Florida to start like a new beginning, or not even a new beginning, because I was young, so I was just starting a beginning. And Orlando, Florida was the place I did that. And the bar business allowed me an opportunity to make some quick cash. And give me an opportunity to where I didn't have to do like a 9-to-5, you know, office job. In 2009, you know, I was at a really low point, and I was living in, like I said, I was living in Florida. The recession hit. I had gone from living this lavish lifestyle of like motorcycles and cars and nice homes and spending money because, you know, I was a bartender. I had money flowing every day. I'd make $400 one night and go below half of it the next day, you know. So I had, you know, I was living that lifestyle, and then the recession hit, and I was at like rock bottom. You know what I'm saying? I'd left a relationship. I'd had no forward momentum in my career. I didn't know where I went. I think I was working at GNC at the moment. I had to sell my nice motorcycle. I had to sell my nice truck. I actually had a 1966 Chevy Impala Biscayne. I mean, this thing was 16 feet long, nice chromed out wheels. Like
What color was it?
It was two-tone, blue on top, silver on the bottom. Beautiful car. So that is the lifestyle that I lost. So I was wrecked over it. You know what I'm saying? I was just wrecked over just losing sight of life and losing myself. And even at that time, I was in my early 20s or almost mid 20s, and I realized I really hadn't even found myself.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So I left Florida. Let me tell you, the first time we left, we loaded up our cars. I had all the homies outside. We're standing out in front of my house. I still remember my mother standing in the door, just bawling her eyes out as we're getting ready to like roll out, you know? And it was a beautiful moment because my homies are like, had their arms around her, like consoling her, like Mom, it's gonna be all good, you know what I'm saying? And that picture is burned in my head, you know? Coming into New York, you realize this whole nother art world. Everything's art in New York. Everything's art. The subway is art, the buildings are art, everything is art. The graffiti, the way people dress, like you're totally engulfed in like culture and community like immediately. You know, so me seeing that being like very brand new to me, I was like soaking that up. And the way that I regurgitated that was through photography.
Yeah.
I had a little camera. I would go out and just snap a little pictures. I remember I took like 1 million pictures of the Empire State Building.
Really?
I probably took the same picture over and over for like 6 months. And I was hungry. I was starving for something like life at that point, because I was at the bottom. So I was trying to claw my way out. So I was like just soaking up and just engulfing anything I could. And the art world is what I took grasp of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. How did you take steps to get out from that point, right? Because I think a lot of people hit that rock bottom, whether it be emotionally, whether it be their careers, whether it be relationships. A lot of people hit it, and people can approach it in different ways, right? One way is saying, yo, I'm not letting this happen anymore. I'm not getting punched in my face anymore. I'm going to take the necessary steps out of this. And another is just folding up and following the standard path that many other people take. So it seems like you took the first path. How did you like make a plan to get out from that?
You know what? It was honestly, it was more just like human nature. I didn't, I wasn't active in any. Honestly, I wasn't even like active in like a plan. I didn't have a plan. I just knew like I'm in a bad, uncomfortable situation, and I got to get out.
Right.
It almost was like a fight for my life. It was like second nature.
Yeah.
If you're
in a way, it is a fight for your life.
Yeah, right. So it's like if you're buried alive, you're gonna scratch and fight to get out. Like you don't know, you don't have a plan. You're just trying to get out. And I think that's what it was for me. It was just like I got to get out of here. I just need to breathe. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm suffocating right now.
Wow.
Because I just have I was always somebody that saw the big, like wanted the big picture. But and this was like a moment where I couldn't even see that. Everything was just dark, and so I just wanted light, and I just wanted to breathe. So I didn't have a plan. I went to Dallas the plan was to go to Dallas for a few months and work this scene and get some money, and then bring it back home and continue to do what I was doing, right? But unbeknownst that while I was in Dallas, my apartment burnt down in New York. So that happens, and which was a very stressful moment. But at the time, again, I just kind of followed the path. You know what I'm saying? So Austin, Texas was like a bus ride away. I had a friend in Austin.
A long bus ride
away. I had a friend in Austin from high school. So I was like, yo, I'll come visit you in Austin. What's good? I'm in Dallas. I don't even have an apartment to go to back right now. So I'll just come see you. What's good? Once I got to Austin, he told me about South by Southwest. I visited South. I had my little camera. I had my little equipment. I had my equipment, and I had a bag of clothes. That was all the belongings I had, because everything else had gone up in flames. And so I went to that, and I went to South by, and that was another moment that just made me fall in love and realize, like, this is what I want to do. This is it.
The crazy part is you never would have known that if your apartment didn't burn
exactly
down.
So again, like, you hit rock bottom, the recession falls. This is the worst thing to happen to me. Come to find out, it's one of the best things that happened to me, because otherwise I'd still be laying on the beach drinking Coronas. You know what I'm saying? Now my apartment burns down. It's the worst thing that ever happened to me. Now I know it was the best thing that ever happened to me, because it pushed me and forced me into another position. You know what I'm saying? So I went to, and then South by Southwest I've been there every year since, and it's been a place where I've just absorbed so much contacts and a culture and mentorship, and and it's one of those other things that have just like made me realize, like, this is what I want to do.
Wow.
If I walk down these stairs right now and break my ankle, I'm good, because I know there's a reason why.
And you've been to the bottom. You know what the bottom feels like, and you know how to get up from the bottom.
I ain't scared. I ain't scared of the bottom.
There's no reason.
I ain't scared of the bottom.
You know how to get out of it.
I ain't scared of the bottom. I'm not scared of failure. I'm not scared of trials and tribulations. Matter of fact, I invite it, because out of all that, you become stronger.
Can we spend some time talking about that specific time in your life when you made that jump? I want to ask a couple questions. One, how did your family or your friends or people close to you think about you making this decision? And two, were you scared in this area, in this time?
obviously your family wants what's best for you.
Yeah.
And I get that. You know, my father always is one to say, you know, well, you know, if you're going to do that, why don't you find something that, you know, get you a 401k and then move, you know, but that's not how it works in the art world. You just don't fall into a 401k position, you know. So I get their concern for the stability part, and I took a lot of that. I think I took a lot of that personal. I felt like the people that were thinking like that really didn't support or didn't have faith in me. I don't think that was the case now, but at the point I put that chip on my shoulder, like, I'm gonna show you.
Right.
I'm gonna show you I can make it. You don't think I can do it? I'm gonna show you. So that was the angle from my family, from the family angle. Friends and family, they know who I am. They know, like, Sid's gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? They support me. They want what's best for me, but they also, like, know that what I am, and, you know, they don't have, like, so much vested in me as my family does. So they're like, yeah, man, do that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Do that. So they were very supportive of it.
You know, one question I have now is, you know, you've seen a lot. You kind of gave an overview of your life, hardships, you know, good times, bad times. What would you tell, or how are you telling your story, and how would you inspire someone who's kind of in that gray area of, like, you know, I don't really know what I want to do. It's not looking too bright. You know, I'm into whether it be photography, other forms of art, whatever it may be. How would you? What's some advice that you would give someone in a time like that?
You know, I've you know, speaking on DuPont, I had an opportunity to do an event, and it was an event that was very community driven, and I had the opportunity to bring together 3 other photographers to be part of that, 3 African American photographers, which is very a rare look in what I do. You know, I sit at a lot of round tables where there's not a lot of people that look like me. So I took ownership of a mentorship opportunity, and I brought these guys together. And basically what I tell them, and one thing that I always, another tagline that I use for myself is, embrace those that embrace you. You know, so this is, you know, I tell up and coming people, like, always, like, the people that are interested in you, interested in your work, are not going to always necessarily be the people that can always move you forward with momentum, but there are always people that are going to fuel your passion. We're vulnerable. We're not as tough as we think. I'm not as tough as I think. But at the end of the day, if something happens to me, I would rather somebody say, suck it up, get your ass together, and get back out there tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? And I think there needs to be more of that. And also I think there needs to be a lot more of you know, pay attention to the past. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate where you came from. Appreciate your forefathers. That's a big thing. I want to give the secrets away. I want people to know the secrets of how I made it. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel competition with my bros. They're great photographers. They could take any job that I have. But that's cool. I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I believe in myself enough that I'm gonna go get mine. You know what I'm saying? So of course, there's enough for all of us. You go get yours. I'm definitely gonna get mine.
And we're gonna collaborate.
And we can collaborate. We can get this together. So I don't mind giving away the secrets, and I don't mind being somebody that is thought upon, like, you know, graciously, you know, in the future. You know what I'm saying? And even our situation right now, you know, I want you to know that I appreciate you being interested in my story. So from here on out, I'm going to make sure that Aaron knows that I appreciate him for that. You know what I'm saying? And however I can, whether it be sharing this 1,000 times on the internet, whether it be shouting you out every time I post something, whether it be that a dap and a strong hug every time I see you, you're going to know that I appreciate you. So when you go out and somebody says, you know Sid? Yeah, I know Sid. He's a fucking solid dude. Definitely. You know, that means something to me. Definitely. You know what I'm saying? And that's something else that I would probably tell the you know, kids now. Like, establish yourself in the way that you know, that means something to you, that how you're thought about, you know, amongst good people means something, you know what I'm saying? So
that's real. And when you get knocked down, suck it up.
Suck it up.
My man.
Suck it up.
Appreciate you always,
For
man.
sure, man. Thanks for having me.
It's a wrap. Thank you.
Cool.